So this is a recap of the first 4 weeks of prep. So we're going to dive into nutrition, training, performance, mindset, and measurements. So hopefully this helps, guys. If you haven't already, click subscribe and let's dive in. Yeah, so as I said, we're 4 weeks down in prep, which is really exciting. I can't believe 4 weeks have happened already. And I think that's a great thing. It's a really good thing that the first 4 weeks have happened. It doesn't feel like it. It's been pretty smooth sailing. And yeah, I'm not just saying that. As I said in previous videos, I'm going to be raw and real with you guys. When it's hard, I'm going to tell you. When I'm struggling, I'm going to tell you. But it has honestly been a really good 4 weeks. Happy with how everything's going. I think starting off with, from a mindset perspective, just trying not to overthink the fact that prep is starting and not building up to be something bigger than it doesn't have to be. And I think that's a huge thing that I would say to a lot of people that are looking to prep is if you're organized, you're prepared, and you've created some great habits prior to prepping, then prep doesn't need to be anything huge or crazy or difficult, especially at the start, because your deficit shouldn't be that big. Okay, obviously everyone has a different process. But in most cases, the deficit is going to gradually increase over time. And there's a few things you can control when you think about mindset, and it is closely related to how you're controlling other variables, in particular your training and nutrition. Okay, a lot of the time, mindset is linked to the fact that we're in a deficit, so therefore our nutrition, which then has an impact on potentially our performance and how we may train. But yeah, generally from a mindset perspective, really good, in a great place, and excited to keep this prep going. And I think the mindset a lot is related to, obviously your progress. If you're seeing progress regularly, then it's going to be a lot easier to keep that mindset sharp. The other thing too is just having full trust and belief in yourself, but also in the people around you. So again, another reason why it's so important to have a coach, and also to have a supportive partner, supportive circle of influence, training partners, whoever it is, making sure that those people are filling you with lots of positive vibes. Because if you've got the opposite, people who are negative, people who are pulling you down, or people that are fighting against, the things that you need to do habitually, daily, in terms of training, nutrition, prep, etc., or tempting you with things that are not in line with your goal, it will be so much more difficult. Okay? And obviously, I think that's a big responsibility for you when you go into prep, to be aware and let people know around you that that this is something that you're working towards. It doesn't need to be a big thing, but they just need to be aware. Generally so they can be supportive. It's not so that you can make a huge fuss about it, because at the end of the day, it's your goal, it's not theirs. But there are occasions where people really close to you need to know some of the things that may come up, and just that, it is a priority. Your nutrition and your training is an utmost priority for a goal like this. So we'll start with measurements. Okay, so in terms of my measurements, I've dropped about 2 kilos, which is fantastic. And also measurement-wise, dropped some great centimeters off the waist and hips. I'll pop the photos up there now so you can sort of see where the progress is. So I think from the front, I can see most of the change around that lower stomach and hips, which is awesome. And even like the lats a little bit. And, the delts are coming through a little bit more, which is really nice. They always look great when they're lean. And then the back, I'm really happy to kind of see some good progress with the back, knowing that that's where usually the fat comes off last. Legs, not a huge change, but again, I'm not overly concerned about that. It's still so early in the process, and right now it's just going through the motions. So yeah, weight's down, again, 500 grams on average per week. So rate of loss I'm pretty happy with. And centimeters, again, yeah, seeing consistent progress and change there as well. So everything going pretty well in terms of measurements. And that relates now to our nutrition. So I was sitting on 2,800 calories prior to starting prep, and straight away, Joey put my calories down to 2,380. So I did focus a little bit on that the first week. There was a couple of times where mentally I was hungry, more so because I think I fixated on that a little bit too much, just for a day or two. And straight away I was very aware of it. I changed my meal timing. I changed some of my habits and routine, and it's been very easy since then. After 3 weeks, we dropped those calories, so 20 grams of carbs less, down to 2,300 calories. It's all been very easy so far. I haven't been hungry I do notice that a couple of times, especially on the weekends, where I'm a little bit out of routine, that if one meal is a little bit too far away, I become a little bit agitated. But I'm very aware of it. Again, it's happened twice, I think, in the last 4 weeks. So it's something I'll keep an eye on going forward, because that will definitely pick up. And that's where, planning, preparing, executing, your nutrition, your preparation, and meal prep, all those sorts of things are really, really important. And that comes down to food choice as well. So food choices, what I have been doing in the last 4 weeks, which is a great tip for guys looking to compete, I've specifically picked the foods that are higher calorie and more calorie dense. So what I mean by that is I've had, smoothies most days. I'm still using nuts. I'm still using salmon because my fats allow it. Avocado. I'm still using a lot of those things that don't traditionally creep into a prep diet, which is awesome. Okay, and I'm deliberately trying to do that so that it doesn't feel like I'm prepping in this first 4 weeks. And if I can do that for as long as possible, I will, because I think it's a great strategy. I think it can, especially when you're looking at a 6-month prep, which is pretty normal these days, given the quality of the conditioning, the quality of the shows. And people just get better and better. The conditioning is so important, so you need a long period of time to lean down. So when you're going to be dieting for that long, I think you want to really reduce that dieting fatigue, not just physically, but mentally as well. And if we start with things like spud lights, your Greek yogurt, egg whites too early on in the process, I feel like you can burn out quite easily, and I've seen that with clients as well. So it's something I'm very conscious of. Knowing that, you're going to have salads, you're going to have pumpkins, you're going to have a lot of these foods later on in prep, and you want something to look forward to. So that's something I deliberately have done. Hopefully that little tip helps you guys as well. So yeah, as I said, 2,300 calories, smooth sailing. And yeah, look, I'm sure there'll probably be another adjustment in a few weeks as well. But back to measurements, I've got skin folds in 2 weeks with Joey, and so that's going to be great just to sort of see where we sit from that perspective as well. And then training wise, look, Dan Marshall's been looking after my training, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos. Again, it's fantastic not have to think about that, just rock in and perform what I need to perform. The training hasn't changed, it's been the same since pre-prep. Still focusing on, I've got some niggles around my knee and my upper body, which I'm working through, but other than that, volume hasn't changed a whole lot. I did have a deload after the second week, which I reluctantly took. I didn't really want to, so I just lowered that volume, and we're slowly building that volume back up. But I have to say the last 2 weeks of performance has been, much, much better. So in hindsight, really, really good move. And again, why I have Dan, just like why I have Joey, so that I can remove that emotional attachment from some of these things. I can let, other people who are experts in their field take care of it, and I can just do what I need to do, tick all the boxes. So yeah, performance is really, really good. Really happy with that. And look, I'll be aiming to continue that performance, at a high level throughout the whole prep if I can. And that's going to be where the nutrition and the mindset, which I've talked about prior to this, is going to be really, really important in managing. So yeah, guys, look, not a whole lot to report the first 4 weeks. Pretty smooth sailing. Really happy with it. And look, hopefully this just helps. If you're getting ready for prep very soon or next year, again, the first little period is always exciting, but hopefully this helps. It helps with mindset. It helps with your thought process around nutrition and training. And look, just remember that you can control everything. It is going to get hard at stages, but it comes down a lot to mindset. And I know it's going to challenge me, even though I've done this many times before, it's going to challenge me later on in prep, but I'm ready for it, and I'm doing everything I can to mitigate any dieting fatigue, physical fatigue now, and reduce that window as much as I can. Guys, again, thank you for watching. That's the first 4 weeks recap. Hope you enjoyed it. Click the subscribe if you'd love to see the future videos and be notified when the next one's coming out. It will likely be in a couple of weeks, recapping skin folds with Joey, and also going through some posing. So stay tuned for that. If there's anything you'd love to see in future videos, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.